Welcome everyone to another episode of our Global Employability Expert Series. My name is Mirta Aguirre. I'm the head of employability and coaching at Virtual Internships. And today we bring you a really interesting topic, which is choosing a career path by defining your life pursuit. This is a very interesting, definitely super interesting topic. And for that, we have today our speaker, Mostafa El Sayed. Let's meet our speaker. So Mostafa is an impact-driven entrepreneur with over 8 years of experience in education management. He has held several positions in nonprofits, corporations, and startups, where he has driven the business development and accomplished key milestones. He's also a public speaker in education and employability topics. In 2017, he was nominated as an Arab Hope Maker and Best 30 Under 30 Entrepreneurs in the MENA region by GTEx Global. Wow, very impressive. Thanks for being here, Mostafa. And what are we going to discuss in today's sessions? So, well, basically, probably you know, if you're here, something resonated in you that made you come here. Probably you know that deciding what career path to pursue may be a challenging endeavor, right? So one way of approaching this is by considering your life pursuit into the equation. And that's what Mostafa will tell us a little bit about. We will explore what the main motives that influence your career choices are. What is the best motive to choose? How that will affect your life in general, and some other things that we are going to discover with Mostafa. So welcome, Mostafa. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, Mirta, and thank you for the great introduction. I hope everything is fine, and I hope you are doing well. Thanks, everybody, for joining from across the world. I hope that it will be of benefit session, and I will try in the 30 or so minutes that we have to share some thoughts with you that I feel that it's needed. It's really needed, because when I actually was exposed to this ladder or this hierarchy that I'm going to share with you, actually it changed my life in a sense. So I'm really excited today to be sharing this with you, and I will start to share my screen right away. So let me know if you can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's get starting. So why actually we were talking about choosing your pursuit today? I actually managed to think about what actually we can try to think about in terms of our career choices, but we have to take a step back a little bit and maybe define what kind of pursuit that we have. And I'm going to share with you a number of pursuits today that we maybe live by on a daily basis. We live by those maybe and think about them on a daily basis. And when we talk about pursuit, maybe the first thing that will come across your mind is a kind of pursuit that so many books and some movies talks about, which is the pursuit of happiness. How many of you like heard of pursuit of happiness and you know, we need to pursue happiness and this kind of stuff? A little bit I disagree with the concept of pursuit of happiness. If we think deeply about pursuit of happiness, it's something that it won't require much of effort, because let's give actually real examples. If you have a class, some of you have a class at 8 a.m. and you just like put your alarm off and you continue sleeping and you just felt happy. It doesn't take much to feel happy, right? Some of you like have something and have a deadline for some project and you eat cheese puffs and like makes you happy. Swiss rolls can make you happy. Doing nothing, for some people, doing nothing can make them happy. So it's being happy is not really an accomplishment. Actually, it's a feeling that goes quickly too, and you don't feel it just only lasts for a few hours or maybe a few days at maximum. So there are other pursuits that maybe take more effort than just pursuit of happiness. And this is where actually I want to start with you. So the point zero is pursuit of happiness, because even if you think about it, is when people usually think about happiness, why they are happy and why they are not happy, they usually blame it to other things or other people. It's like, because of you, I'm not happy. It's because of the weather, I'm not happy. It's because of global warming I'm not happy, etc., etc. So being happy again, it doesn't, feel like it's an achievement. However, there is other pursuits that will take much effort, right on, right away. And the first actually pursuit that I think it touches many of the students, because I know so many students are attending today, is the pursuit of cool, is a pursuit of social acceptability. I'm calling it cool. And let me tell you what is that is. So some of you is a high school, like just graduating from high school, and some of you are international students, for example, and coming from across the world in order to study in a certain college or a certain university or a school, and you are different than anybody else. And because you are coming maybe from a different background, like an ethnic background or language or religious background, you would feel different than anybody else. And some of the people that they feel awkward, that they stick out, or like they don't want it to be the black sheep or the odd one out. They want to be able to fit in and be just like anybody else. And this is a real struggle. This is a real struggle because many of the students, they don't want it to have like this look, that they would feel awkward that they are having, for example, a different accent or a different language or a different wear clothes style. So many of actually students at this pursuit, they would, for example, when they go shopping for clothes, they would think, what should I wear that when I wear it and walk the whole way in the school, that people that won't look at me differently or make a mean comment, because they don't actually want to be, the black sheep. So this is a real struggle, and the school environment, it can be really brutal environment. It's not easy. And by the way, this is something that it does not affect the young people only. It affects old people too. They do some decisions also based on what is socially acceptable. They move to a certain neighborhood because everybody else moved to the neighborhood. Like, what the people are gonna say? Their financial decisions, their family decisions, even the people like who will let their children marry decisions are all based on what is socially acceptable. It's not based on what is good for them or what's best of the family, but rather what is socially acceptable. So this is the second pursuit, social acceptability or cool. Above this, however, there is a very interesting, pursuit, which is pursuit of popularity. Popularity. And let me tell you what that is. So for some people, they just want to not to just blend in, to be cool. They want to be the coolest. They want to be the loudest in the bunch. They want to be the ones that they are center of attention. They wear the most expensive clothes. They want to have this kind of attention, that they are the loudest in the bunch, right? And in the era of social media, that's very easy to identify, right? So you have many of your friends, if they like lost some followers on their Instagram page, maybe this is gonna lead to a certain disappointment or something, right? It may be eventually to some sort of depressing, because they feel that their self-worth is kind of decreased in a way if they are not having the number of views after they posted this video, for example, right? And it's for some people, they live off attention. They need it. Some celebrities are like that nowadays. They are so good example, because some music, for example, if they are musicians and their music does not sell anymore, so they would maybe involve themselves in some scandal. At least some magazine, at least some tabloid will mention them. At least they will be mentioned somehow. So this is like, there is some people that they live off attention. They need it. By the way, on the other hand, you can find people, they are completely fine being invisible in life. They work at your offices, they go to your schools for 10 years, and you don't know that they even exist, because you would rather to be invisible. But on the flip side, you can find people that they live off attention. They need it. And this is by any way necessary. So this is the pursuit of popularity. I want this kind of lectures, by the way, are engaging. So I want you to use the chat box, and I will ask you from now and then to repeat, the number of pursuits that we had. So the number one pursuit that we had is called, I want you actually to use the chat box in order to be engaging with me. This is the kind of, sessions that we need to have some sort of engagement. And also, I'm so interested to know your thoughts. So the number one is, yes.
Yeah, here we have really nice answers. People are very attentive. Happiness.
Happiness.
Yes.
It doesn't take much effort,
No,
and
but
above
they
this
wrote
is
it here,
pursuit.
yes.
And above this, the pursuit of cool. Above it is what? Popularity. I don't want to just be cool.
Yes.
I want to be the coolest. Above this is a very interesting, actually, pursuit, is pursuit of prestige. Pursuit of prestige. Let me also share some thoughts about this. So for some people, it's not about what you've done or what are the works that you have been doing, but the fact is that you look like a big deal. The fact you are associated with a big deal. So the brand of clothes that you wear is more important than the intelligence that you have. The kind of car that you ride is very important, at this regard. So it's, for so many people, it's wired about that idea. It's about the image. So this is actually a real also pursuit for so many people. You have, for example, for so many students, and I used to work as an educational counselor at some of the Asians, and I used to, meet so many students around the world. And for so many students that maybe their families don't do well financially, and their dad ride, a 1988 Buick something, they want actually rather they want to appreciate if they would be dropped off in the front of school. They would be like to be dropped 4 blocks before the school. If it was Mercedes, if it was BMW, then they would rather to be dropped off on the front of the school, because they cannot associate themselves with a beater. If it was Ferrari, then it will be a different story, right? So this is actually, for so many people, this is what their life is about. It's about the image. I was in one of the events actually, and also after I had a small talk, and I was asking about the direction for the restroom, and a guy told me, by the way, I went to Stanford. Okay, thank you, but where is the restroom? You feel the need to say people to the college that you went to, or for example, the kind of university the prestigious university, because you feel that your value has increased some way because you are associated with Stanford, or your body is associated with a brand name clothes. It is something. It's about this association. It's not about you. It's not about this association. You can go to Harvard and be failing all of your classes, but you can still say, but I went to Harvard. At least it looks good on paper. It looks good in my resume. So this is actually one of the things that many of young people, they wire their life about. It's about the image of prestige. So I want to actually, let's get back also from scratch again. What is the first pursuit that we talked about? Happiness, right? Eat a banana and be happy. Doesn't take much effort. Okay. Above this, you will actually try to spend some effort and in order to be like everybody else. And this is the pursuit of cool. Above a pursuit of cool, however, it's a pursuit of popularity. Above popularity is pursuit of prestige. Above prestige, there's a pursuit. And before actually I move from pursuit of prestige, I know that there's so many of young people that their parents or their families ingrained in them that if they are not graduating from a med school, they won't have any prestige in society, right? There's so many people that they think that you need to only be a medical doctor in order to have a real prestige in society. Otherwise, nobody would gonna, respect you in a sense. So this is also some of the families that maybe because they haven't taught this hierarchy, that they think that it's only about the prestige that they know about. So some sort of course misconceptions. However, it's something that maybe your parents ingrained in you in order to have. And of course, there is so many examples, in this regard. But above prestige, however, there is also another pursuit and another people that they are dedicate themselves to one thing and one thing only. And this thing is, can you expect? Can you, any idea how to one only thing?
Money?
Actually, perfect. Money. That's actually the thing. So for some people, actually, they get to one thing and one thing only. Pursuit of money. They don't care
Oh,
about
I
any
was
of the
right.
stuff that,
I was paying attention, see?
this is actually, this is right. So for some people that they don't care about any of the stuff, the real thing that they care about is one thing is money. They don't care about prestige, they don't care about happiness or being cool or any of this stuff. The real deal for them is money. And these people are like, they are good at making money. They wear smelly, dirty t-shirts. If you look at them, you will feel that they are homeless, but they are making 30 grand a day. Because they don't spend on anything. They ride the ugliest car from the World War II. They like spend it at anything, and they only just focus on one thing and one thing only is money. And these people are rigorous. They are smart people. They work hard, by the way. They are rigorous people. They know how to get the job done. They maybe some of these people are maybe entrepreneurs, and they are really good at their careers, and they know how to get those promotions. But on the other hand, they live a very miserable life, by the way, because they spend every bit of their energy at this direction. They have a God-given gift. Maybe they are entrepreneurs and they are amazing at what they do, but they leave behind the families that have been abandoned. They don't have much in terms of friends or social life. They don't take care of their own health. The only way actually you can see them come alive is when you talk about the next investment, when you talk about moving the career further. This is the only time that you can see them come alive, but they are miserable at any other aspect in life. And they are, again, they are so smart people, but they are so focused. They don't care about, they know that prestige, popularity, or happiness doesn't work. It doesn't worth it. The real deal is how to make money, and they are good at making money. So this is the pursuit of money. I'm gonna again, repeat again the prestige, and I wanna also you to put in the chat box what you remember. The first pursuit that we talked about is a pursuit of what? Happiness, right? And above happiness is pursuit of cool. People that you want to blend in, and above cool is just people that you want to get the eyeballs of everybody else on them, is they are seeking of or pursuing popularity. Above popularity, however, there are so many people, they are pursuing prestige. Above prestige is money. And above money, there is a very amazing pursuit that only very few people, by the way, as we go higher up, it takes more effort, and consequently, it takes actually, you can find lesser and lesser people. So it takes more effort, and you can find lesser and lesser people. So as we move higher up, you can find actually a very few people at the top. So the next pursuit is pretty amazing, is the pursuit of excellence. The pursuit of excellence. There is some of people in the audience here that their life is maybe about one thing. They want to be the number one. They don't care about money. They don't care about, again, any of the things that I've just mentioned. What they do care about is being number one. And those people are never satisfied. They are never satisfied. They can get 100 at every exam and still say to themselves, I haven't done enough. I haven't gone far enough. I haven't done enough, and they are some of the amazing people in the world. They are pretty amazing people in the world because they are constantly not actually competing against opponent. They are competing against themselves. They always say to themselves, I haven't done, good enough. And, these are very few people in the world, because the majority of us will be happy if they got a B. Those guys will be crying if they got an A. Have you met those people that you would be actually crying if they got a 99? I mean, you got 65 and you are partying all day night, and those people got a 99 and they arguing with the teacher for extra credit, and how did I make this one more point mistake, and just they want to argue about this one mistakes that they have done, and you just want to run them over after the school day is done because they are, but you've got to understand they are wired differently. They are not like you and me. They are different. They don't actually be satisfied with mediocrity because they think that they haven't pushed enough, and they are like, if they were in a race and they are ahead of their entire team with 100 feet, they want to slow down. They won't say that at least I'm winning. No, I've got to beat my own record. You can find some of them, by the way, you can find them athletes. You can find these people, you can find them scientists and community researchers. Some of them are entrepreneurs and, scientists and, again, researchers. But they have one thing in common, this grit. They are constantly, competing not against an opponent, but against themselves. So this is a pursuit of excellence again, but this is only a very few people, because the majority of people they will find them in the in the level of happiness. If I'm happy, if I have my lunch and dinner, I'm happy. I don't want anything else, right? The majority of people think that way, but those are so unique people. So above pursuit, this is not the end. Unfortunately, there is an unanswered pursuit that we have to go, and this is a very unique pursuit. Again, this is, as we move higher up, it takes more effort and lesser people. And the next pursuit that I'm going to share with you is the pursuit of impact. They are people that concerned with one thing and one thing only. They have the drive for excellence already. They think about, actually, because they don't think about pursuit of excellence, because pursuit of excellence is just about yourself. Like, you want to be the best than yourself. So, but pursuit of impact, they have the same drive already. However, this drive is for other people. They say that my life is bigger than just aspirations that I have for myself. I want to move, to be to change the world in a sense. I want to be not only the top medical doctor, I want to be the top medical doctors that provide medical solutions to disadvantaged area for places that they cannot afford some medical solutions. I don't want to be an engineer, but I want to be an engineer that provide also some clean water, solutions to an African countries that they cannot, they have these problems and they cannot afford, having a clean water. They lose sleep over this. They have the drive of excellence already, but this excellence not for them. It's not for themselves. It's for the others. They think that their life should be dedicated to make the life to make the planet is a better place. And actually, this is a very few people in the world, because if you think that way, you will find that there is so many of your colleagues that they graduating from the top schools around US, Europe, and Australia. They have their MBAs, they have 4.0 GPAs, they can get a six-figure salaries even in their senior year at college, and they turn all that down for a job in a non-profit that it's not even half the salary. It's not even half the salary, for just you want to actually have an impact. And you may be like, be astonished of this, but the drive that they have is not about, it's not money, it's not prestige, it's not popularity. The drive that they have on a daily basis is creating an impact. It's creating, they think about making a legacy of goodness behind, because they know that their life is very limited. They know that they have a very limited time in life. You can live, 60, 70, or 90 years on this planet, and you just have at the end of the day a very limited, time. I can share many examples with you about this, but since we have a very limited time as well in this session, I'm gonna share with you one of the inspiring stories that I found myself actually be amazed when I read it, and it's about this scholar in Bangladesh. It's called Yunus. Muhammad Yunus is a economics scholar that he's managed to have a to pull up his whole people, the majority of his people, away from poverty by just applying this concept about microfinancing. He was a lecturer. He got his PhD from the States, and he went back to his country, and he just wanted to have a, like everybody else, to have a stable life and just, doing some lectures and that's it. But he thought that maybe like I'm gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable if I'm seeing all of those people under the poverty line while I'm having a good life, and actually do not, I'm not applying the very basic economical related concepts in my people. So he started actually doing microfinancing for small and business enterprises, what we call them, SMEs, right? So he started actually applying this concept, and he started to try to help poor people. And of course it was very risky, because those people, they don't have any guarantees to provide whatsoever. And he took the risk anyway, and he started to help those people, and he established something called Grameen Bank, and they ended up actually having his Nobel Prize for peace for the amount of impact that he has done for his people. So this is actually a very inspiring story about impact.
Yeah,
Because
his story is amazing. If you don't know it, look for it. Mohammed Yunus, he was well, he is he has changed, I mean, a whole way of understanding also how people relate, right? Because people didn't want to lend money to other people because they said they don't have how to give back this
guarantees
money,
whatsoever.
right?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
So yeah, there was a lot of trust in the people too, definitely.
And it's really inspiring. And of course there is so many examples. I actually also I found this mobile application. It's called Be My Eyes, and is actually one of them, very great examples of creating an impact around the world, and leaving a legacy of goodness behind. And there's so many, of course, examples, but mainly what my advice is actually, you have to think at this point of your career. And by the way, it's not necessarily that you are a student right now, or maybe you are entry-level professional, or if you are a mid-level professional as well. It's not too late to think about what kind of impact you can create, through the scope that you are currently doing, through the scope that you are working on. So this is very important to think about, because we have to think much bigger than ourselves. We have to think about the impact that we can create in order to make the world a better place for everybody else. So this is the first part of my talk today. And in the very few minutes that I have with you, I want to actually share with you a very important and crucial idea that would integrate what I've just mentioned to you. But before that, I want to share with you the hierarchy that we actually had with each other. So we started with happiness, and again, doesn't take much effort. You can eat an ice cream and be happy. And cool, this is a real struggle for so many people. And actually above cool is popularity, and above it is prestige, money, and then excellence, and above it is impact, people that they are concerned about impact. And this is really okay if you understood the following. Is actually the rest of my talking it will be about dividing the word, the pursuit of impact, right? You heard me talking about pursuit of X, pursuit of Y, like pursuit of popularity, pursuit of prestige, pursuit of impact. But we have to acknowledge that there is like very big difference between pursuit, which is effort, and results, which is impact. And let me explain this a little bit. we can only control the pursuit, the effort from our end, but we cannot control the results, because results, don't come from us. It's out of our control area. But whatever in our control area is the effort. And so many of you actually, they are doing great impact, sorry, they are doing great effort, and they are doing a very amazing pursuit. However, they don't see the results right away, and they think like, I think it wasn't worth it. Like I kept applying for those internships, or I kept applying for those jobs, and I didn't hear back from any of the employers. I think it wasn't worth doing. No, 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 no. It's actually, you've got to understand that you can put the effort in, and you should not wait for the results to come, because you don't have any control over the results, to be honest. Results come from a higher power. Let's say it comes from God. It comes from a circle that is not actually under your control. But what you can control is the seeds that you will plant. Like, think about yourself as a farmer, and you've gotta plant seeds, and later on you will find them blossom and bloom, but not necessarily on your schedule. It's not gonna be on your own schedule, right? It's gonna be maybe on God's schedule. You will see it anyway. You will see the fruits of your seeds. However, it's not necessarily on your timeline. It's not going to be on your timeline. So this is very important to inculcate, because so many of you give up very easily after they apply, for example, for jobs, internships, scholarships, or whatever. They lose hope easily, and they get hopeless very easy. And actually, my message today for you is to keep going. You've got to keep going, because the only thing that I can promise you is that you can see the fruits later on of this kind. I know that it's, if I would share an example for this, it's like if you decided to go to the gym, for example. Let's say that you decided one day that you wake up and, hey, I'm gonna be an athlete, and I will hit the gym. Let's go to, and I will be I will start to be in shape, and I will start to hit the gym since day one. In the first few days, even if you actually trained for a couple of hours, you would look at the mirror and you won't find any results. You will actually look at your body, but you will find any kind of results, right? You won't find anything. But actually, it's not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's about actually being consistent about training. You will see the change on your body, but not in the first week, not in the first month, not in in the first few days. You will find eventually that your body will be changing, and you will find yourself in shape. So it's not about intensity, it's about consistency. It's about consistency. And this is something that you need to inculcate in your mind, because so many of young people, they don't have the patience in order to pursue their dreams, whether it's academic dreams, whether it's professional dreams, whatever. And because of, like, again, we are in the era of social media, and you are like you are a little bit of used to something that's very quick, to a TikTok video that is, if a video just more than 30 seconds, you will just swipe up. What's next, right? And we are addicted to this kind of stuff, because we started also to find ourselves, we something that is very spontaneous. We need something that is really quick and spontaneous. We don't want to have like a kind of patience in order to pursue our dreams. So this is something that you need to have in your mind, inculcated, and you need to live with it day in, day out, because otherwise you will not find any results, or you will not find any impact or fruits for all you have ingrained in the soil. So this is pretty much the thing that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it was of benefit, and I hope that you would choose to have an impact in life, in all walks of life, regardless You are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are an IT professional, you are, you know, an athlete. I hope that you are actually enriching the world through your scope and through your walk of life. Thank you so much again, and I hope you will be the next life change maker. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mustafa. You know, this is really great because you brought a really interesting and important question about career development, which is, okay, what kind of career do I want to create, right? What kind of path do I want to walk, no? And you have proposed different ways, right? We can agree, okay, is there a hierarchy? Is there anyone, any of those better than the other one? But I guess the real question is, okay, when I am really starting to think about my future and what I want to accomplish, I need to ask myself this question, okay, what is it important to me? And you bring this very really interesting question, which is, okay, what values am I pursuing through my career, right? And you mentioned, okay, happiness is a value, right? You mentioned social acceptability, popularity, prestige, money, excellence. There are many different values, things that are important to me, and how do they play into my career, right? Someone is asking here, really bringing an idea, a really interesting idea, that says, the world is full of inconveniences and possible solutions. What inconveniences interest you? Who do you want to help? Like, asking ourselves all these questions, right? That really go into what you brought about, okay, what is that drives us, right? What is that thing that moves us? And I'm very happy that you finished with the impact proposal. I actually have this book here, which is, it has this number, which
50,000 hours.
This number is supposed to be the amount of hours we have for our career, right? How many, if we work like throughout, I don't know, 30, 40 years, we create a career, we have all these hours where we can actually spend in our career. And this book, you can check it. This is from an NGO that works precisely on career development. They bring this idea of finding meaningful work, right? The book calls Find a Fulfilling Career That Does Good. And the idea is like how to create a career with impact. So for anyone really reflecting on how good I like my career to, how good I like to shape my career, like am I driven by impact? This can be a really nice book to read. And actually you said something too, you said like, let's try to make impact into the scope we have. One really interesting idea from this book is that sometimes we think like making impact is, I don't know, working for the UN, right? Or creating a super big revolutionary idea, medical idea, or like being a doctor, right? Because I'm helping people. But sometimes we can have great impact by doing something that at the beginning we say, I'm not sure how I can be an impact by being, make impact by being, I don't know, a civil engineer, right? Someone can say, I don't see it. And then you are part of a project that really brings housing solutions to a whole village. And I mean, there are so many ways of doing impact. So I think that's a really good reflection to have. Am I interested in having an impact through my career? And in that case, what are the values that drive me? Or if maybe impact is not necessarily it, what are the things that are important to me? So I think the question on values and what moves our pursuit of a professional career is really interesting. So thank you so much, Mustafa, for what you brought us today.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you for the idea that you brought up is very interesting. And I want to also to address something that usually, like in case of you chose something like impact, for example, to create an impact, actually the rest will be a byproduct. Excellence and money will be byproducts. They will be byproducts, because if you are actually creating an impact, you will be unique at your career. You will be one of your kind. And if you are at this position, money, it will be pouring down. Excellence is a byproduct at this level. So this is a mindset that you need to change your mentality, because if you changed your mentality and you thought about yourself as a individual or a professional that they need to leave a legacy, again, of goodness, of an impact behind, that's where you will find that everything else that we mentioned will come to you, but without actually you even asking. It will come to you without you ask about it. So this is very interesting as well.
Yeah, and that makes me think of another idea, which is we may have this very legitimate idea of saying, okay, what if I don't know what my thing is, right? What if I don't know what drives me? And I guess one of the career development ideas is like, oh, follow your passion. And sometimes we may say, okay, what if I don't know what my passion is, right? What if I don't know yet? And I have another book to share. I've been doing a lot of reading lately. This one is Designing Your Life. This is super interesting book also for professional development. And this one from this very idea of we can design our lives, right? And for that design to happen, we need to have some reflection on what we want, right? And what the idea they bring is like, we oftentimes, most of the time, get to know what we like by really testing different things, right? Like really saying, okay, this time I like perhaps to explore a little bit this industry or this particular field. And when we try, we discover what we like, right? And I guess in that search, it is really important to say, okay, am I tuned with what I'm interested in? What are my interests? Like what kind of things really are my thing? Because when we align values, what we believe in, what it is important to us, and what we actually like doing, those things that we can speak all the time about, those things we are all the time learning and listening to, then chances are that we can discover, right, more things that are for us. And then they say, oh, I think like now I'm finding something that can really be my the thing that moves me, and this I'm interested in doing some impact here, right? So I think that's a really also good way of saying that really life is about trying out different things to actually find out what is important to us.
Great. Awesome.
Okay, so do we have any questions for Mustafa? Someone, any comment would like to share?
I'm interested also to hear your feedback, and if you have any thoughts about this, ladders that we draw with each other.
Well, I did like the fact that impact was because I'm into, of course, I like that careers, right? Impact, they have impact, whatever that is for each one of us.
Thank you, Laura.
I see many
thank
yous in the chat. And so, Mustafa, if you want to stay in touch with you.
Thank you, Adam.
I'm going to share your contact information. And I think that I invite you all to share your LinkedIn profiles too. Remember, networking is an essential part of your career development, right? Connecting to other people. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, well, you should have it by now. We have two really interesting webinars on how to create a successful LinkedIn profile and how to network online. So if you haven't watched them yet, you should find them in our YouTube channel, because those are two really interesting webinars that are super important. So I hope you have your LinkedIn profile, and please share it here. Add Mustafa to your LinkedIn profile, and I am very happy for having you all, had you all here. Thank you, Mustafa, once again.
Thank you so much, Mirta, for having me, and thank you everybody for connecting from across the world and navigating all these time zones. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and see you in another sessions. No, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.